Weird Realities Network presents Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales, where we pull up a log, roast a marshmallow, and settle in as these two blondes talk spooky tales, urban legends, and classic horror icons. Exciting guests, perky blondes, and sinister tales makes this podcast as good as a double stack s'more. So let's join Bethany and Krystal as they gather around the campfire in Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. We are here with another episode with another epic, legendary author. As you know, last week we had Jonathan Mayberry, so the fact that we have Mark Tufo today, this is just, we're on a roll. So I don't know what luck we have right now, but we're very thankful for it. If you guys are not familiar with Mark Tufo, which I don't know how you could be watching our show or part of Weird Realities and not know who he is. Mark, you have over 60 books published, not including your story. I know, I went through and I counted them.
I thought it was over 50. I didn't know we hit 60.
Yeah, you look very surprised.
Yeah, but I was like, that's a fun number. So you have 69 books so far on your website that's published, and not to mention how many anthologies you're a part of, not to mention how much of an inspiration you are to so many of the indie authors in the post-apocalyptic genre. Like, I feel like you were a great breakthrough for a lot of people. But we're so excited to have you on the show. So welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I'm sorry for my noise interruption that will be happening periodically as Chloe snores, but thank you both for having me. I appreciate the nice intro.
Yeah, absolutely. We have no problem with the animals. We were talking about before the show started that obviously everyone who watches this are familiar with Indy and Olive. Halo and Ricky are Ricky's still working, so if they can join us, that will be great. But Ricky kind of got a new job, a promotion, so we're excited for him. So hopefully we'll see him again soon. If he can hop in, that'll be awesome as well. But be determined. So, Mark, do you want to talk a little bit about yourself or kind of like how you got started? Nope.
No.
All right. Well, thanks. No pressure.
Well, that was a short show. Bye, everybody.
Be real. Send the check.
Yeah, pay by the hour.
Let's see. I'll go way back. Not too far. I don't want to bore anybody. Always loved to read. Lived at the library as a little kid. Really growing up, never was like, oh, I want to write books, Mom. You know, I never said that. And then what was it? I guess, boy, it was a minute ago, but about 14 years ago, I guess, I found myself laid off and suffering some serious insomnia, trying to figure out how we're going to pay bills and stuff. And it's just a way to try to sleep. Well, I was reading a ton, but try to sleep. I had an exercise in my head. What would, I don't know why this was my exercise, but it was, what would I do in a zombie invasion? And that was pretty much chapter 1 of Zombie Fallout 1. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just put pen to paper and I'll write it out. And what's weird, it's weird how life works. The minute I wrote the end, not the minute, but, you know, the same day or a couple days, I got a job offer. So it was like I had to write that book first before I could get a job, which was weird. I mean, but cool. Surreal for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've definitely come a long way. You've worked with John O'Brien with your I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden.
A Shrouded World.
Yes, Shrouded World series. I like your Bigfoot books. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Sasquatch ones. I listen to them while I do my truck shipments in the morning on my Audible. So that's how I cope with dealing with my employees sometimes.
I don't blame you. That was it's been something that's been in the back of my head forever. I've always loved Yeti, Bigfoot. I truly want to believe that they are running around because that's fascinating to me. Mm-hmm. And I've alluded to Yeti in some of my other stories, but then I even wrote the first one, Devil's Desk, and that was only going to be one book. And I was like, you know what? That was a lot of friggin' fun. Let's see if I can open that up again. So hopefully, you know, we'll see how far we go with that.
Well, especially with the ending of, I think, your second one, not to share spoilers or anything, but the ending of your second one seems like it opens up for like an interworld Yeti versus human problem.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to leave it more open as opposed to one where I really thought I was only going to do the one book.
Mm-hmm.
realize, you know what, that was fun. Maybe I'll revisit.
There you go. Now, you've touched on like zombies, you've touched on vampires, Sasquatch, aliens. Do you have like a favorite of anything, or do you just kind of like, whatever, it's January, I'm going to write about this, or I feel like writing about this?
Yeah. Well, I got my fantasy book. My very first one is coming out next month. Slightly terrified of that, how it's going to be received. I really love the fantasy genre, so I'm hoping that people can see that when they pick that story up. But my favorite, you talking my story or genres?
Whichever.
Probably the book I'm proudest of writing is the Spirit Clearing, so that would be paranormal.
Nice.
Nice.
Now, you are a big Star Wars fan too, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit, right?
Just a little bit. Yeah, you can.
R2D2 right now.
That's a full-size R2D2 there. That's done.
So, what do you think of all the extra episodes on? Do you have like Disney Plus? Do you watch all the extra, like Mandalorian and?
I got rid of DirecTV to save a dime, and now I've got 48 different streaming services, so I'm probably paying more than I ever did with the dish. I know a lot of people were like, Disney's gonna ruin the franchise. Disney's in it for a buck, and they keep putting out content, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I'll keep eating it. I mean, there's been some stuff where I'm like, but for the most part, I think they're doing the Star Wars world well.
Yeah. I really like The Mandalorian. I've been really watching that. And Endor's actually been really good too. So I've been getting into those two. Endor and Mandalorian have been the ones I've been watching.
Wow. What was the one that wasn't so good? I don't know. I wasn't a fan of Solo so much.
Yeah.
That didn't tickle my fancy. And then there was some other show like Jabba. No, not Jabba. I don't know. But there was another one on Disney Plus that I could have done.
There's a lot. I mean, between the Clone Wars and then all the animation and stuff like that, there's so much. I have to reference my nephew. I have to call him up and be like, hey, what's going on with the Star Wars world? Because I don't know what's happening. Like,
you got a Cliff Notes? Help me keep up?
Pretty much. Yeah. He's like, okay, he'll draw me up like a whole outline. He's like, this person knows this person. And I'm like, that's a lot. This is why I'm a Star Trek girl.
Yeah, definitely more linear. That's for sure.
Well, Mike, he's definitely, he says, sounds like Bigfoot in the background noise right there. Just
There's
a dog.
no lie.
Just a little bit.
Just earlier she was tooting. Oh yeah. I was like, how am I gonna move my computer, man? Because I'm not gonna be able to stay in my office.
You're good. So obviously, you have a lot of books, and you have a lot of just so many different scenes and situations that happen. Do you have anything that's just kind of based off of like a real life experience that you're like, I'm going to put this in the book, or anything kind of like that at all?
A lot of I've got what's called tablisodes that end up at the end of a lot of the books, and many, I won't say all, but many of those are based on reality. And the scene that I connect all the multiverses with, the car crash, that was true to an extent. So I'm not sure what anybody knows, but there's a car crash that plays a significant role in pretty much all of my series. And that's where all the different stories branch out. So so definitely, you write what you know. So I've definitely incorporated some of that into my writing.
Did you have a car crash happen, or?
Yes, after Cheech and Chong Festival. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
A festival for Cheech and Chong? I mean, I'm not surprised, but
it was a drive-in, and this is how old I am. But it was a drive-in movie marathon of Cheech and Chong, and every time they lit up, so did we.
That's something that I miss is drive-ins. The last movie I saw in a drive-in was Slither, which is one of my favorite movies. But I miss drive-ins. Like we had someone try to revamp the drive-in here in Tucson just a few years ago, and it didn't come back. But I don't know. I don't know why drive-ins kind of went out of style, but I think they're awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
always had fun with them.
I love them too. I mean, even if you just look at my two of my boys, while I'm speak English, my youngest two, they didn't want to drive forever. They both drive now, but like a lot of people these days don't want to drive. How much easier is it to sit at home and stream as opposed to going out and going to a drive-in and all that fun stuff? I get why they don't want to do it. It's just a bummer. I mean, definitely some good times had there for sure.
Yeah,
there is still a drive-in in Phoenix. I took my nephew there to see Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And it was
really?
like 110 degrees outside and we were kind of miserable. So I would recommend not going to it in the summer. But it was a lot of fun other than that.
We used to, my family used to drive a motorhome, and that's what I took my driver's test in, was a motorhome. And that's what we took to the drive-in theater sometimes. And
You took a driving test in a motorhome?
I parallel parked a 32-foot motorhome in a 36-foot section.
Yeah,
I take curves at like 80 miles an hour in that thing.
Yeah. No, Krystal and I, she was a passenger, and we launched our friend Angela all the way across the back end of the back end of the motorhome.
Holy crap, that's hilarious!
I was really glad I called shotgun that day.
Yeah. Especially would be in high school, and I would charge kids like twice to get off of a campus and then back on, and I charge them gas money. I made a lot of money in high school.
It takes a lot of gas to drive that thing.
Yeah. But we would take that thing to the drive-in, and as a kid, I thought that was the best thing because we would climb up on the top, like climb the ladder on the top and sit up there. We could see perfect. And as an adult, I'm like, wow, we were kind of jerks because people behind us.
Yeah.
That was reason. Like, were you in the back row at least? Because like, if you were not in the back row, you were definitely blocking people.
Yeah.
You're the reason why people don't want to go to the drive-in anymore.
Oh, fine. Shut down the drive-in. I don't know. I like drive-ins. I feel like the drive-in popcorn always tasted really good too. I don't know if it's just like because you're at the drive-in.
We always took our own. Because
you could make your own, but if you like went and stood in line, then I feel like that was that commitment, and the commitment just made the popcorn taste so much better.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to buy drive-in popcorn. Like, we took our snacks in. We were not allowed to get anything. It was special enough that we were going to the drive-in.
Did you guys have those stupid mosquito coils? Because you used to have to leave your window open to put that stupid speaker in.
Oh.
And growing up in New England, mosquitoes are horrible, but Massachusetts, you could buy this stupid little mosquito thing, and you would burn it in your car to try to.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure I got something.
I think I know what you're talking about. It'd be kind of like the candles that they have now. But I don't think mosquitoes are a huge issue in the
weird
desert.
spiral thing, almost like incense, and you would light it up, and it was supposed to get rid of mosquitoes. But I'm sure now it's
what's that stuff called?
Like. Not chamomilla, but like
citronella.
Yeah, citronella. Yeah.
No, this was way more toxic, I'm sure.
Oh. Probably. Not that things aren't still toxic, but they used to be way more toxic than they are now.
Nobody knows.
But things are more fun too. So.
No, we'd be riding our bikes down the street when the trucks would go by, shooting the DDT into the trees.
Oh my gosh. I just remember watching like the crop planes just drop their stuff, and like if you got some of it on you, you were like, okay, cool.
Yeah, you think twice about it. Whatever. Rub some dirt in it.
Pretty much, yeah. Rub some dirt, wipe it up with a duct tape. You're fine. So now, do you read a lot also, or are you just slammed doing everything with writing?
I've always read a lot, and then for the first few years when I was started writing, I just completely stopped reading. I kind of lost interest because I was writing my stuff, reading my stuff, rereading my stuff, editing it, blah blah blah. I was just like, when it's time to zone out, I just want to put on mindless TV and be a vegetable. And then, it was a few years back. It just clicked. It's like, I miss friggin' reading. So I make time. So yeah, I definitely read a lot.
There you go. What do you like to read?
I'm all over the place, but love fantasy, horror.
Horror?
I'm cutting myself short here, but sci-fi. I don't know why I forgot that. I was looking over at my bookshelf. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You also have a few bookshelves behind you too. So
Yeah.
Just a couple. I was trying to grab your book to pull it down. I have a couple of your books, but it's hard. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try and move this, but like all of my books are on this big shelf.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what?
There's a ladder to get to them.
No,
exactly. But like in my inebriated state, I'm like, I could totally hop on the couch and get on the cat tree and find my way up there. And I'm like, that's exactly what Mike would do, I feel like.
Safety third.
That's exactly how you fall and hurt yourself. At least that's what would happen if I tried to.
Yeah.
Nope. Safety third.
Safety third. There you go. So now I know you tried to get a series going. You like created like a commercial or like a trailer that you wanted to do. Is there any news on that going forward? Or
well, Audible, they opened up a new movie division, and they purchased the rights back in December of 22.
Okay.
And I have not heard a peep since then. But
oh gosh,
what's weird is it was an 18-month contract, and they just reached out to extend it. I was like, okay. Well, I mean, it's not like I'm pushing people away from the door to make a movie, but I guess they still have it in the works. I don't know. But honestly, you know as much as I do at this point.
Yeah, when we were talking, the last episode, he was talking about how, because we were talking about V Wars, because he created V Wars, and we're like, how much impact did you have on it? And he's like, well, they asked my opinion on the titles of some of them.
Yeah, I think you kind of get. I think you get pushed to the side. A few years back, I had a couple of folks from a production company were very interested, and we were going through the package they were putting together, and they were like, how important is this BT character? I think we're gonna axe him. I was like,
no.
No, I don't think that's the smartest thing, considering he's probably the most loved character in the entire series. So
yeah, no, BT
sounds
is
like
definitely
a good way to make the fans very angry right from the start.
Well, Calvin says all your fans want a movie. So Mark, this is my dad. They're always like 2 or 3 minutes behind on our episodes. So
no worries.
Mosquitoes. So he's like, you can light up the mosquito coil, forget about the mosquito.
We would light up other things, but the mosquito coil.
But at least you weren't getting bit by mosquitoes. So
we didn't care about it. Yeah.
Oh, well,
now,
that's fair.
What parts you're in like the New England territory up there, or
I'm up in Maine now. Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have any like urban legends or anything that happened up there, or any like town stories? Or
God, I probably should have prepared more. I'm sure there's tons of them. I don't really know specifics. I know right down the street, she's not 5 minutes from here, is it's like the most haunted house in all of Maine. It's pretty scary just to look at. And it sat vacant for years, and then some guy bought it. He bought it about 2 years ago. Yeah, I don't know what this dude was doing, but all of a sudden, like outside, he had all these tables, and he was selling all this stuff that was inside the house. I'm like, there is no way on God's green earth I'm buying anything that came out of that house, because who knows what the hell's attached to it.
It's all haunted.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm not picking up your free cursed object.
I'm not bringing any of that crap home. Then come to find out, like, I don't know if there was. I'm sure there was other circumstances involved, but like he died. You know what I'm saying?
He just died.
Maybe stop messing around where you're not supposed to be.
So he bought the house, sold off all the cursed belongings, and then died. Sounds related to me, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Me too. That's all I'm saying.
Supernatural episode, if I ever heard one. Just trying to like Google a couple things. Let's see.
The most haunted house in Maine. Is that what you're trying to Google?
Yeah, Frankfurt, Maine.
Up like New England urban legends. There's, where did I see it at? It's kind of like Freddy Krueger. Oh, Fingernails Freddy, or the ghost of the Hoosac Tunnel. That's interesting.
Hoosac Tunnel sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of ghost shows as a kid, you know? They'd have those on at night where it'd be like all these, like, these are all the ghost stories, and I'd be the only one home, and I'd watch them and freak myself out. And I feel like they talked about that.
That's like me and Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, I used to get creeped out with Unsolved Mysteries too, yeah. Because they'd always have like the random like ghost or like UFO story. And then, yeah, I always like, I was home alone at night a lot when all those shows were on. But yeah, it'd be like Unsolved Mysteries, and then it'd be like some random ghost show. Like those were never a series back then. You know, it's not like Ghost Adventures and Taps and all that where they're like out hunting. They would just be like reenacting the events of like the stories.
Yeah, like Unsolved Mysteries was our, you know, when you weren't allowed to watch Twilight Zone or anything like that or X-Files, you watched Unsolved Mysteries. That's what
I was allowed to watch X-Files, but that was something I watched with my dad.
So we have Mike. He comes on talking about your guy who sold all his stuff. He goes, "Merry Christmas! I found this for you at a yard sale."
And where'd this monkey paw come from?
Londa just saw what I put under my name. So thank you, Londa. I was debating that. I put "Don't lick my peephole," so I figure Mark would know about that.
I don't get it.
Yeah, anyone who watches Zombie Fallout or reads Zombie Fallout, you'll understand that, or buys any of Mark's merchandise will understand that comment there.
Even if you don't understand it, it's amusing. So
it is. It's either that or a Pop-Tart metaphor. So
the one thing about that line that's good, because it's obviously not high literature, but it's very early in the book, and if you're cool with that line, then you're pretty much good for the series. You know, if you get to that line, you're like, nope, you know, you haven't invested too much time, as opposed to going 22 books deep into the series.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I was just going to say, if you got 22 books deep into a series before you decided that you didn't like it, you might be a very indecisive person. Like, I can usually tell. I'll usually give like a book series if I'm not too whatever on the first book. I'll give it like maybe 3 books, and if you don't have me by the 3rd book, I'm done.
There you go.
Yeah, you would think, but I don't, as a rule, read reviews. I just don't. I don't read 1 star. I don't read 5 stars. I don't need a big fat inflated head, and I don't read the 1 stars because I don't want my soul stomped on. But it's funny, man. You'll see some people. They'll be like 6 or 7 books deep in, and they'll be like 4 in a row. They just can't stand them. I'm like, why do you keep reading them?
Yeah, why are you trying it?
There's plenty of other stuff out there. I'm not offended.
You don't have to buy it.
No.
Yeah. Like I'm a very avid reader, always have been. But I used to be, when I was younger, I was like, if I start a book, I'm finishing it, no matter what. And then I got to this point where I was like, there's so many books in the world, and why waste my time reading something that I'm not enjoying? So if I absolutely hate a book, I try to give it at least halfway, but there's a few books that I've just been like, no, I can't deal with this. And like 20 pages in, I'm done. Like, and it's a lot for me to give up that fast on a book, but I'm just like, life's too short and there's too many good books out there. I'm not wasting my time on bad ones.
No, I've definitely done that. When I was growing up, it was like, I started it, I'm gonna finish. I got that OCD. But no, now I'm the same way. There's been a few books just even this year. It just didn't click in my head. Now, nothing. I didn't dig the characters. I didn't like the flow. And, I'll try, and then, I've got a to be read pile that's taller than I am. I just assume go next.
Yeah, same. I have so many books on my TBR list. Like, I'm not wasting time on something that isn't bringing me pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So damn mean. We all have our own opinions. Yeah, Londa, that's true.
And I appreciate
very many reviews in general.
I appreciate what Londa's saying here. I've had some people, and again, I really don't read reviews, but I have some examples. Like I had one person, I think they read Zombie Fallout 20, and maybe 20, I don't know, but for whatever reason, they could not stand it. Give 1 star. This is rubbish, garbage, filler book. But it was like the previous 19, they didn't say anything. It's like, so you waited all the way to 20 to ding me, but 19 good reviews would have been awesome, but so, but that's human nature, is to complain.
Yeah, they're so quick to leave a bad review, but to leave a good review is just hard.
Yeah. Yes, apparently.
Like, I'm not a person that leaves very many reviews in general, but if I do leave a review, it's going to be because I really liked something. And the only, like, I can't think of any bad review I've ever left. Like, even with like horrible customer service, which I've gotten a few times, which everybody has, but like, I still didn't even leave a review. I'm not going to give you my business again. But
right, and that's how you leave your review. And even the books that I've read that I can't stand, I won't leave a bad review. I just won't read the book. End of story.
So Mike says if he finishes a book, he's going to leave a 4 or 5 star review because it was good enough to finish. I mean, that's a valid point right there.
Yeah. Tell Mike I need what? How many books do I have, Bethany? He needs to go back. 60. I need 69 reviews, Mike.
Yeah, according to your website, 69 books, not including anthologies.
That's freaking nuts. I'm gonna have to count. I don't believe you. I don't think I believe you, but we'll see.
Well, go check out.
Here's my question: with like the 69 books, like when did you start writing books?
Okay. When did I start writing and completing?
And completing.
Yeah.
About what the hell is it? 14 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, when I write to eat, so I like eating, so I make sure I get it right.
That's fair.
So if you look at it, you did 69 books that we know of in 14 years, right? George R.R. Martin did what, 7 books in 12 years?
Yeah, but he's loaded.
Okay, by luck.
Like, sometimes it's luck of the draw, honestly.
Yeah,
like some of the most popular authors, like I'm not saying that they're bad, but they're not any better than the other, like the independent authors and the smaller authors. It's just like sometimes it's just the right circumstances boost your books for whatever reason.
100%. I looked just last week, like the average income for an author, I might be wrong somewhere, but it's like $5,000 or $6,000. It's a pittance. So the vast majority of authors are not making a living. And I just I found a window with my books that I just lucked into, and that was, because there's definitely folks out there that write incredible stories. Not probably, but better than mine, and they just for whatever reason, they didn't hit that nail on the head.
Yeah. I always tell people I just have my one little book. That's all I got. My one little book and my couple anthology things. And if I can pay for a cup of coffee once a month, I'm excited. Like, that's all I'm happy for.
The first 18 months I had books out, I couldn't have bought a cup of coffee. So
yeah.
It's hard, man. It's brutal. And AI isn't going to make it any easier.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate with AI going on, especially with it's almost like people are cracking down more on stuff like Grammarly and what was it, Chat PT or something?
GPT,
GPT. Yeah, So even things that are helping people with their grammar and editing, they're cracking down on with AI type stuff. So it's definitely kind of changing a lot of stuff.
Well, I saw a comment the other day, and it's just like we wanted AI to do like our laundry and our dishes, not our art. We want AI to do the other things so we can work on our art. And I'm like, yeah, like why is AI doing all the artistic stuff? I want artistic stuff from artists, not from an artificial machine.
Exactly.
Well, and that's the problem. There's always going to be people that maybe aren't artistically inclined, and now they have an avenue to do it, and they're going to do it. It's just
it's like a singer with auto-tune.
Oh God, I hate auto-tune.
Wanda, this is what's funny because I was just about to say this. I'm like, we got to go back to the Jetsons where like laundry and the dishes and all that, so we can have fun.
Right. Like, wasn't the Jetsons at this point? Wasn't that set in what's actually now the past?
Oh,
because wasn't it supposed to be like early 21st century?
All right,
let's find out.
Honestly, don't know.
Hey, Ricky,
because it's from the 60s, and it was like, oh, this is what life is going to be like in 40 years, and they were wrong. Yes, Ricky, you are fashionably late. Welcome to the show.
Ricky, Ricky.
Hello there. Sorry about that.
Hello. Hey, Ricky.
Crystal and I were just going to look up on when the Jetsons was set because we think it's actually in the past.
Oh wow!
And we don't have our Rosies in our kitchens yet.
But you know what? My little vacuum, her name's Rosie.
Yeah, we do have. Yeah, my wife has. She loves that thing.
We're not quite there yet. It was set in 2062.
Okay, not quite. Well, that's like 40 years.
A lot can happen in 40
do you know how old I'm going to be in 40 years? I won't care if there's a Rosie in my kitchen. I'll care that I'm not pooping my pants. Like,
okay, but Rosie can clean it up. I'm just saying.
Right. Yes.
I want my Rosie now. Okay.
This is a robot to pick up dog poop.
I think they're actually working on that. The dog poo robot. Yeah, I think they're actually. Yeah, like Kickstarter or something. I think I saw that.
Man, but it's got to go over grass and like gravel because there's all sorts of terrain.
Oh
so.
Yeah.
We need it, man. With the 3 dogs. Oh my gosh.
Now, what are their names? Your dogs' names?
Chloe's a snorer. Holly is down by my feet, and Norman's downstairs.
I love the name Norman.
Yeah, he is such a good dog. He's the one we rehomed. He's just a big, gentle, goofball giant. He's awesome.
Just hangs out all the time.
Yeah, just he's a spaz too. Like he hasn't met a flight of stairs he can't fall down.
Wow.
Hey, me either.
Now I gotta say, okay, so something that we talk about a lot in our a lot of our shows is that we love Stephen King, but we're also animal lovers, and it's so hard to deal with. Like Stephen King loves to kill off dogs for some reason, and every single one of us loves.
Probably because Dean Koontz loves them and keeps them around.
Yeah, but I got a bone. You killed off a dog in your first zombie book, the Rottweiler. I can't think of the name right now.
Bear.
Oh, Bear.
I makes up for it. He makes up for it.
I still get hate mail about that. I was like, the dog was on one effing page in the first book 14 years ago. Let it go. Let it go.
No, don't like animals.
Adorable dog.
Okay, so where I'm coming from is the whole Life of Riley series.
Oh yeah.
There you go. See, I really like alien perspectives. I can't even think of the name of the author, but there was a book I read a while back called Raptor Red, and it was a perspective of a raptor, velociraptor.
I read that.
An apocalyptic.
I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Yes. So the idea of your bulldog, leading a pack through a zombie apocalypse, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was fun to read too. I learned my lesson with Bear. Trust me.
14 years later.
kill anybody but the animals, you know? And it's like, okay, now I know.
Yeah. I feel like I think that's like the greatest complaint that Stephen King gets. Anytime I hear people complaining about Stephen King, it's always, and I mean, we do it constantly too. Why does he kill the animals? Why? Leave them alone. They're fine.
Yeah. Although you were reading Mr. Mercedes and you were like, oh, we got to the poodle part. I'm like, trust me, the poodle is okay in this one. I read it. I checked it out.
Yeah. As I was reading that, I was like, why does he have to kill the dogs? And she's like, just keep reading.
I know. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah.
Let's have a fight.
Let's have a fight. There we go.
So now talk to that man. That'll be the first question I ask. What do you have against dogs?
Exactly. Yeah. He did over there. If we can get R.L. Stine, we're gonna get Stephen King. So now, Rick, you actually had a thing with D&D tonight. That's kind of why you were working on stuff, right?
Well, it was for the company I work with, because I work with a nonprofit organization that works with people with developmental disabilities. But yes, we were setting up a charity event for Dungeons and Dragons, and that was the main focus of the meeting for tonight.
Nice. Mark, do you play any games like that, or are you into stuff like that at all?
It's funny, in high school I was far too cool. I was student athlete and all that stuff, and partier and D&D, you friggin' nerds, noogies. And then I'm in the Marine Corps, and we had some downtime, and one of my friends in the Corps was like, hey, we're doing a D&D campaign. And I was like, all right. And I had a blast. I was like, he was a great dungeon master, is that what they call it? But he was awesome. We just had a blast, just sitting around, bunch of jarheads, drinking beers, and yelling and cursing and having a good old time. So yeah, big fan. I haven't played in forever, but when I did play, I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I've noticed a large influx of people from the military, especially those who have been disabled, and they have been huge in the D&D community. It probably also because the age range is our age range. So
yeah. Sure. Yeah, I mean when you're in the service and there's downtime, man, you're either drinking or playing spades, and now D&D apparently.
Oh, it's funny because our dad was in the Air Force, but I don't know. I can't see Dad playing. He could play D&D now. I don't know. I don't see back then. I know I played D&D with Rick one time. Well, a couple times, but the first time I played was just a few years ago. And he created this whole world, and I was having so much fun. And then I was like, okay, when it was all done, I was like, okay, cool. How did we do? And he's like, you didn't even start the quest. You were just walking around talking to everyone in the village.
That sounds like what I would do. That's that's what would always happen in like Zelda. I'd be like trying to figure stuff out, and then my brothers would. But it was like so frustrating because my brothers would be like, "You're not doing anything." I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to figure the game out because you never let me play." And they'd be like, "Well, you're not doing it," and they'd steal their controller. And very similar with D&D. They played that, and I was never allowed to play because I was a girl. So it was rude. My house was full of double standards. I wasn't allowed to do anything because I was a girl.
Oh gosh. Well, I remember growing up, we didn't have D&D. We had Dragon Strike. That was like the Walmart version of D&D. And we thought it was so cool. And we would create our own little characters. And Rick and Tom, that's our other brother too. They would actually mold characters and paint them and stuff. And I wasn't allowed to touch it because I wasn't, I was too young and I couldn't do it. But we would create our own characters and character cards. And then we would just have our own games. Same thing with a game called Battle Master that took up the whole floor. And we would create our own little characters. But it's just stuff like that you remember. You're like, man, that was really fun. But I look at my stepdaughters and I look at my nephews and I'm like, they don't do that anymore. Like they just
we're all face buried into these. I mean, it's a shame. If it's not on a pad or a phone, we're not doing it anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they do play Warhammer 30K and 40K. Yeah. And that's kind of the rich man's hobby now because that can be real expensive real fast.
I want to know what PMP is.
Pizza and Pepsi.
Pizza and Pepsi. Oh, is that what Pizza and Pepsi is? The PMP?
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at 3 different things.
To be fair, during that time, there were arcades and such in the Pizza Huts and such. So, you know, and I do remember Dad playing, you know, enough having enough downtime to get pretty good at a couple of the games that were there.
I remember Space
so they had it was like Miss Pac-Man, but it was also a table.
Yes.
Yeah. They had it. You could play like 35 different games on the little table. But I always remember Space Invaders. I would play Space Invaders on the little table.
You guys want to get super jealous?
Yeah.
When I was a young teen, my best friend's his uncle worked. He was a big muckety muck at Bali, but we used to be able to go to the video game warehouse where they would like bring people in so they could buy the games or rent the games for their location. So there would be hundreds and hundreds of video games. We could just play all day for free.
Oh,
no.
That's amazing.
It was a blast.
Nice. Oh, that sounds like so much fun.
You just didn't even know what to play. There was just so much stuff around.
Yeah. Well, and then you would play to game and play to beat the score, not for tickets. Like I'll take my girls to Peter Piper and they just want the tickets. And I'm like, but it's the game. Like you got to beat the game. You know, you got to see the high scores. You want to beat that. And they're like,
no, I want the sparkly keychain, Mom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, if they get the big slinky, then I'm all down for it. But other than that,
you have to get a lot of tickets to get the big slinky.
Yeah, I'm all. I have my little slinky. I want my big slinky.
I do like how the arcades are making more of a comeback. There's Cobra Kai arcade. There's all sorts of different arcades that are out there now.
Yeah.
Again, our generation. That's probably what it's for. A little bit more disposable income.
And arcade bars are a thing. Those are fun. Those are a lot of fun. And then there was a bar that I went to that it had it was like an arcade bar, but instead of arcade games, it just had every gaming system ever. And just a huge library of games. So you could
wow.
So you could play those. It was a lot of fun.
I could see spending a lot on booze just sitting on a couch playing some old Mario or something for 3 hours.
Mario Kart. Let's do it.
And all the drinks were video game themed. You had the Yoshi cooler and different things like that. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. I like that.
So there you go. We got to do some video games. I know I went to, I think it was the Cobra one that you were talking about, Rick. They had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original game where you had to save April and stuff. And you had all the different turtles playing against Shredder. I was like, that was pretty cool. I missed that game.
Right.
What was the one? Gauntlet, Ghosts and Goblins and Gauntlets, or Ghosts and Gauntlets?
Oh, yeah.
God, I love that game.
That was a good one.
Primal Rage, Golden Axe, all that.
Fun stuff.
But that was when you could play games, and if you died, you died. Not like nowadays where you just save the game, you can restart, go on. The only trick that we had then was the Game Genie. Isn't that what it was called? The Nintendo Genie.
Yeah. I still have one of those somewhere.
Yeah. If you had that, you were the coolest kid on the block. Unlimited Mario lives.
I remember going to a Magic Mountain and dropping $80 at one point on one video game. Trying to beat it.
What was it?
It was Final Fight or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now if we're talking about this stuff, are you guys Mortal Kombat people or Street Fighter people?
I personally was not ever really gamer coordinated enough to pull off all them great moves, so probably neither for me.
You were a go-kart.
Mortal Kombat has a larger lore and story. Street Fighter was fun and easier to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked my games when it was one joystick and just pounding on the fire button,
Yeah, some of the controls now, it's there's so many buttons. I'm I don't know what these do. I remember my 2 little buttons on my Super Nintendo and my joystick and my little things.
My kids, when I would play, Nintendo 64 with them, and then they got buttons on the back and everything. They, no, Dad, you got to do X, left, right, the thingy in the back, the trigger. I'm like, but by the meantime, I'm getting hacked to death by a sword.
We got that new Harry Potter game, and Axel, my boyfriend, he's the one, he like tripped out my character. She's got like all the extra stuff. He knows how to do all these things. And I'm over here because there's so many buttons. I'm like, I'm going to go pet this cat. Like, here's a little kitty cat. I can do that. I can move forward. Calvin says that, Mark, you are a Donkey Kong kind of guy.
He would not be wrong.
Donkey Kong's a good game.
It is.
I like it.
Was playable. Yeah, we did that at home on our Atari 2600. Atari something. Yeah.
Nice.
It was a motocross, so you also had the motocross part and then Pong.
I've got the Quest VR too. I really like that. I think that's fun.
I haven't heard that. The Quest VR.
It's Quest. There's Oculus. There's several. Yeah.
The Oculus. Yeah. Oh my gosh! You do a little gummy and play some VR. Ooh, boy, that's fun. Not gonna lie, I have a good time with that.
The first time I used an Oculus, it was with my ex, and I was like just looking around at everything. It was like some Harry Potter thing, and I was just like standing there looking around at everything, but I was on his couch, and I like turned around and I was like looking over something. So I tried to look over, but I was like facing the wall. So I like headbutted the wall, and he was like, "Did you forget where you are?" And I was like, "Apparently, yes, I did." I forgot that there was not actually a big cliff in front of me. Thanks.
It's weird. Like, a part of you knows that, like, no, I'm not 100 feet hovering over on walking this little plank. But then there's a part of you that's like terrified while you're looking over the edge going, man, this is going to hurt if I fall off this thing.
Yeah.
I remember getting paid $5 at a college science deal where I was an experiment, and I got to go in, try on virtual reality was a new thing at that time. And, it was a whole, we're going to make this for educational purposes and stuff. And I'm like, no, this is going to be for fun and stuff later. Yeah, sure enough.
See, I like the virtual reality stuff, and I like Wii and the other stuff where like you don't have to worry about like all the new like buttons and things. Like you can just, like with Just Dance or whatever, like you just have to move your body, and that does it for you. And the same with like a lot of the virtual reality stuff.
I agree.
Than trying to figure out all the new buttons. That might make me old, but I'm a kid of the late 80s and the 90s, so
less buttons is fine with me. I'm cool with less buttons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But see, Mark, I told you we were before the show started. I was like, yeah, it's pretty low key. We'll just talk a couple things, and we go off tangent a lot. So see, you thought we were going to talk about your books, and we're all over here talking about gaming systems.
Yeah, you write books.
I have do all that. I don't write anything.
Oh no! you just got to go through the copyright on that.
I just got to sign my name on the checks. I don't do anything else.
Now you have a publishing company too, don't you?
I do not. My wife does.
Okay, gotcha.
No worries. What happened was we reached out. We're getting hammered with taxes. There's a whole new realm for us, and we reached out to a friend of ours, and he said, "You know what? Create an LLC, and you can save a little bit on taxes." So we did, and like, great. We made Devil Dog Press, well, fancy LLC, and that day, like, I don't know how the hell they found out, but they were like, "Hey, we found out you're publishing. You accepting manuscripts?" And I was like, "No, yes,
no."
So I think my wife now has, I want to say 20 or 30 authors now that are in the publishing house. So
oh wow,
I know. It was something we were just trying to save on some taxes, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, I guess we're running a business.
There you go.
So,
well, like kudos to those people though. Like obviously they're out there, they're looking, they're trying, like they're new authors trying to get out there, and they were like, hey, look, here's a publishing company, and you had like just created it, and they're like, I'm good. Like kudos to them. That's awesome that they had the balls to do that.
Yeah, and that's all my wife. She does all the business aspect of it. I literally just write the stuff. I honestly don't want anything to do with the business aspect. Too many buttons.
I think it's funny that you call it Devil Dog Press, because I actually have a short story called Devil Dog Mine. But you win with the copyright because you came out first. But
well, actually, it probably Drake's Cakes came out with it first as a Devil Dog cake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's delicious. I love them.
Oh my gosh. Well, I figured that's our chupacabra comment that we like to throw into our episode. We always have a chupacabra moment. But Devil Dog Mine is about chupacabra, so there you go.
Gotcha.
Was there like double chocolate or something?
It's like a you guys don't know what devil dogs are, huh?
No, I think they're like rolls, right? And they're chocolate cake.
It's more like
something else.
It's almost like a stretched out whoopie pie.
Okay. Oh, nice. Kind of like one of those Swiss rolls or something, or
yeah, without the chocolate wrapped around it. Yeah, but pretty much almost the same thing.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then Devil Dog's also a Marine Corps nickname for World War I. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Now, how long were you in the Marines for?
5 years.
Okay. What made you decide to join up, or?
I was going through a rough patch, and I was I was living at the bottom of a bottle. I was like, you know what? I think I need to change this up. So I don't know why I thought the Marine Corps was going to be the best thing. There you go. You know, I definitely got the swift kick boot in the ass.
Craig, Indy just kind of jumps in on all the episodes. So sorry. He lurks around and he plays with all the stuff on the desk.
No worries.
But Craig is asking where your dogs are at, Mark.
You can't hear them.
Yeah, right.
They're the soundtrack.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I used to do these on my iPad. I could move the camera around, but now it's stuck on my PC, so I can't really, wrangle it around. But they are literally right here by my feet.
Nice.
And Indy is in Bethany's face as always.
I know. I'm trying to politely. Okay, so right before this started, this has been a day for me. Okay, I'll just share this real quick. Right before we started the podcast, and the reason why I kind of had the link all really super early is because I had a job interview for a promotion through the computer, and I was ready for that. So I was stressed about that, trying to figure that out. And then just a few hours before that, I was telling Krystal earlier, I work in retail, and I was helping a vendor in the back. And when I opened the door, there was a guy who was dumpster diving in my dumpsters. And so when I confronted him, the dude pulled out a screwdriver on me and kind of advanced on me. And then I had to call the cops. It was a whole thing. It was crazy. The guy sped off. So it's been a day for me.
I'm sorry you went through all that. I hope your interview went well.
Yeah, actually, I think I got the job, so that's awesome. And so Indy puts his booty in my face because throughout my whole interview, he was all up there talking with. In fact, he probably got me the job, is what I'm going to say.
Black cats are good luck.
Exactly, especially black cats. So there you go.
There is an animal behind me, Londa. There we go.
Yep. And mine has gone off to go scream at me because she wants water from the bathtub right now.
Exactly. See, we've got animals in all of our shows. Which I don't see your Sasquatch, Rick.
It's in his pocket.
Oh my gosh. Wait, no, I gotta make
an appearance in every show.
Okay. Sorry. Mark's there's so many inside jokes. I don't know what's going on. We have chupacabra stuff and a Sasquatch thing. So there's the Sasquatch.
Gotcha. I understand now. I am in. I'm the cool kid now. I'm in with the cool kids.
I think this is the first time we've ever been called the cool kids.
I know. I like how he was I was part of the cool kids and I didn't play this stuff in school. And we're we were the band geeks. All of us were in bands.
Yeah. I actively played D&D in school.
Exactly.
I'm not saying I was right. I'm not saying I was right at all. That was the opinion of myself back then.
Nah, you're good. Remember, I drove a motorhome to school, so I wasn't exactly cool. All right, well, Mark. Well, it's been really fun having you on here. I'm still shocked that you even accepted to come on. Like, it was just like a shot in the wind. I'm really excited that you were happy to come on. So thank you for joining us.
You said you were paying.
No. Nope.
Wow. All right.
Accolades.
I tried to make a joke there. It didn't come. Sorry.
No. I appreciate you having me on. I really do.
It was definitely fun having you on. You are an author I have followed for a long time, so I'm really excited. I got to have a chance to talk with you. I've seen you on several podcasts, so I was like, man, we got to get this guy on ours. So, Londa, we're gonna talk later. What's up with that?
Did Mayberry badmouth me while he was on?
Nope. He was
checking.
he was chatty Cathy. It was awesome. He was all just going on for like an hour and a half.
No, he's a good dude. I like Jonathan.
It was awesome.
Mark, I will actually be looking up realistically the Life of Riley series, because that does intrigue me, the whole perspective thing. So thank you for that. It gives me something else to look for.
No worries. I got the Devil's Desk is about Sasquatch. If you are at all, Yetis.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well.
Come on, Rick, I got him if you want to read him. So.
There we go.
Yeah, I think I'm the newest reader in this group of people to your work, but I'll definitely, I've started reading your stuff and I'll definitely be reading more. I just was a little bit on the late train.
I did not expect you to read apparently 69 books before the show started. That would have been crazy show prep.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have that much time. I work a lot.
Like, Mark Tufo, I'm so excited, and they're like, "Who?" And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. He's a big deal."
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of people that are a big deal that I've never heard of, so don't take any offense to that. I just live in my own little bubble.
Mark's like, I will forever block Bethany now. So she will not reach out to me anymore.
I'll wait till the check clears.
There you go. Well, apparently that is from Mike. Mike's going to pay our bill today.
Thanks, Mike. I knew I liked you.
Exactly. Our number one fan right there with Wanda. All right. Well, Mark, do you have any shout outs that you want to do, or anything, any upcoming news or anything you want to share before we sign off here?
I just got that fantasy book coming out next month. If you're all into fantasy, please give it a go.
I am.
That's it.
Yeah. What's it called?
The God's Undoing.
The God's Undoing. Does it have
or the alternate title is Bear Dies at the End.
Nice. The bear dies. Convenient.
Or I'm going to make everybody really mad. 33 cents coming in the mail.
Exactly. There you go. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime you want to come on, we will be happy to have you on. Anytime you want to talk about urban legends or your books or anything, we're definitely down to have it. So thank you.
If you ever want to invite me down the road, let me know. I'll look some up so I can we can.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 months, I'm going to reach back out.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. Next episode is going to be June 4th, which is actually going to be my birthday. So I have requested us to have an easy episode. We'll just talk about Supernatural. So easy episode the next one. Excited to have you, Mark. Once again, we'll reach out again. We'll get you back on here and we'll definitely have fun again.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you guys